Chainsaw Man is over now, man. Part two is finished. I do not know how I feel about it. Like, I was happy with the ending, but it wasn't conclusive enough. It was kind of very abrupt. Like, I was happy with how it went. Denji got to live his good life, but it was kind of very abrupt. I did like the themes and all that went into the previous chapter, so the last one. But I feel like it's something where I'm gonna have to talk to people about it, see how they felt about it. Because I just kind of liked the vibe of the end of the final chapter, but I didn't necessarily like what happened. Do you know? Like I know it was like it was just a dreamline, was just a load of bollocks. Obviously, it was like some sort of world reset of some kind. But I am a bit. I don't know. It's kind of one of those bittersweet endings, you know? Like, I'm happy with the overall vibe. I'm not necessarily happy with how it went. Like, I feel like Power coming back was great. I was talking about how I wanted that a lot, but I do feel like the build up wasn't there. There was no real build up outside of stuff in part one. Like, nothing from part two kind of hinted towards that happening. Now, I know, like, with a universe reset, you can argue you can just go, like that, and it works, like Ben 10 and Alien X and that. But, I don't know. Felt kind of weird. Like it makes sense for what he was going for. Like it looks like he just wanted to tell a certain type of story, and he used the Chainsaw Man universe to tell that story, and he wanted to end both universes pretty like the story he was telling with Asumitaka, while also ending Denji's story through part two. I don't think part two necessarily needed to be a Chainsaw Man story, but he just wanted to tell Asumitaka's story, and then wanted to end off Denji's character as well. And I'm again, at the end of the day, they're both very good standalone stories. I think part one is better standalone, and then part two obviously adds on to part one, and then has its own good standalone story for Asumitaka. But overall, I don't think this put a damper on Chainsaw Man for me because I think the chapter before last was so impactful with Pachita and Denji's relationship and tied that up quite well. Like, and there's not as much of a glaring plot hole as like JJK's ending, so it's not something I can't get over and be like kind of sit with. And then we got Power back in the end. Whether the way it happened, maybe people aren't happy with, but I did end up liking the approach as a whole, and the vibes, just the feeling of the whole ending. It was better than I was expecting. I was expecting a more brutal ending, and I kind of like that it was just good vibes. I don't know. I don't know why I like it, but I do. It's more confusion than anything else, but I'm honestly quite happy with the ending in a weird way, just based on how I feel about it. I can't explain why, because it does feel a bit out of nowhere and all over the place, but I just liked it.